Greetings to you, Crocoduck Army, and happy 2018. I hope this year is better than last year. I think 2017 may have been marginally better than 2016. Yes, there were some beloved stars who died in 2017, but probably fewer than in 2016. Coming into 2017, I thought Trump was going to pivot to being a cookie-cutter Republican, to at least some extent, and completely undo everything that Obama did, with control of Congress. The reality was that he couldn't help but be a clown leading a circus of Republicans who can't even get out of their own way. Now that the midterm elections are looming in 10 months, the cracks are already showing even among the true believers, and most independents are long since done with him. The Mueller investigation continues, as do the bizarre tweets, inhumane immigration changes, and serious questions about Trump's mental health. Then this new book, Fire and Fury, came out. Trump and his inner circle of political neophytes invited a journalist in to write a book, and promptly forgot he was a journalist. They then treated their interviews like scenes from a reality show instead of someone who would be telling the world about the backstabbing and other nonsense going on in the White House for the past year. Trump fans have questioned Michael Wolff's background in trying to attack his book, but to his credit, he has audio and video to back a lot of it up, apparently. Trump then claimed that the journalist who he invited to write a book and was in the White House all the time had no access, which was lie number 1948 of his presidency. He also tweeted that he is a very stable genius, which is hilarious from a guy who has trouble putting coherent thoughts together. He even told his lawyers to write a cease and desist letter to try to stop the book from being published, and that resulted in the book being published 4 days sooner than intended. Apparently, Trump's lawyers have never heard of the Streisand effect. There are still some true believers out there, though, or even people who hate him but seem to think that Republicans won't lose much in the midterm elections this year, despite all indications to the contrary, even after every racist thing he says. There are ways to deal with people who make outlandish claims like this. If it's someone you know is good for a bet and will take your challenge in a good-natured way, this is the time to tell them to put their money where their mouths are. Asking someone to put money on it is a good way to kill hyperbole. It's a way to make them slow their roll, rhetorically speaking. I'm not talking about a Mitt Romney-sized bet here, since the money isn't really the point.
10,000 bucks? $10,000 bet?
You'd think that with his approval ratings in the 30s, that more rats would be jumping off the ship. Aside from Senators Flake and Corker, who have openly criticized Trump since they are already retiring, Republicans just want to get what they can out of Trump before he sinks. There are dozens of Republican House members signaling that they want out before they get kicked out, though, like Darrell Issa in California, a conservative attack dog who won in 2016 by less than 1% in a district Trump lost by several points. Demographics are changing, and the 2020 redistricting cycle is going to be much less kind to Republicans than the 2010 redistricting, where Republicans were in charge of many states, even a lot of blue-leaning ones. There's so much energy focused on November, I can hardly wait for the results. But what about good old Steve Bannon? Bannon, the doughy, pockmarked poster boy for the master race, is having a bit of a rough month. Rebecca Mercer, probably his biggest financial backer, publicly scolded him and apparently cut off funding after some of Bannon's remarks about Trump came out in the book. Then he left Breitbart in order to try and salvage Breitbart's reputation among the alt-right, apparently, since the alt-right seem to be siding with Trump in this feud. Trump is enough of a white supremacist for them, apparently, so they don't need Bannon. Now, Bannon seems to be in Mueller's crosshairs, so have fun with that, Steve. Also, if you see Bannon around, feel free to thank him for the Alabama Senate seat win for the Democrats. Yes, 2018 is already shaping up to be a better year than 2017, and I think a lot of revelations about those in power are going to come out this year. Maybe we'll finally find out if Trump really is into water sports.